This meeting of the Westport Historical Commission is now open. Voting members present: Caroline Bolter, Ward Mooney, Garrett Stuck, and William Kendall. Those members not present: Deborah Chiolfi, help me out here, Timothy Bryant. Catherine Ruppert is an alternate, Katrina Strozik also an alternate. Okay, so the first item of business is minutes of the meeting of April 7th, 2025. I did not receive minutes from the secretary, so we'll consider those at the next meeting. Treasurer's report: there is no treasurer's report this month. So we move on to applications for certificate of appropriateness. First one is 1878 E Drift Road, Sally Hardy, replace gutters and fascia.
And Steve White is
I did
here,
the work there.
who's doing
It
the
started
work.
out, Sal, you gotta do something with those rotted corners.
Yeah, I talked to you on
Yeah, we went over, we'll just do some patches. Oh my
Right.
God, it just kept going and going. And I
Right.
talked to Ralph, said, I don't need a permit for this, do I? I'm doing some repairs. And he said, no, but you're gonna be hearing from the historic, and then that's when I called you.
Right.
And yeah, so we pretty much rebuilt everything exactly as it was.
Mhm.
Just fascias and gutters. We had a couple of minor changes on one end of that little roof. The shingles weren't even over the edge of the roof,
Uh-huh.
so water had been getting behind everything. So we just put some drip edge on and extended it out.
Do you have photos?
No, we can send them over, or she might have them.
Yeah, I have some photos.
You won't see a change if you looked at the before and after, really.
The gutters haven't gone up, I mean, I'm in order.
So it's just the fascia that's been done.
Fascias, yeah.
Okay.
One rotten corner
Uh,
that we had to take the shingles
My,
off.
The color cartridge was wearing out. But this is just the corner of the building, the corner of the living room.
Oh, you have?
This is where it was rotted, the lower gutter. I mean, this is just the way it was, why it needed to be replaced.
That's another one. I walked along and you could see the corner board was rotted and just poked it with my finger and it went right through. And then when we took the corner board off, there was no wall behind the corner board. It was just basically totally rotted. Water had been getting behind forever.
okay,
So we had to we rebuilt it just the way it
It
was.
shouldn't look pink, it's white. It's a white house, but that was my printer.
As you know, I know the house very well.
Do you?
Lived in it for 20 years.
No, we've been friends for a long time.
But Steve, I think you had a picture
Yeah,
of
this is-
the gutter that was
If she wants to put
replaced.
gutters on, I got a cut sheet for your requests and folders on the gutter, and it should be 6 fiberglass.
yeah, I think that's a
I think that's the one you guys like.
profile that we like.
It's one that has been used in the district.
Yeah, way better than a wooden one.
Well, it's excellent. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
excellent. Now, when you install that, will you be doing the return exactly?
There's one gutter up high that had that, and we're gonna redo it just like
Return
that.
it.
But on the lower one that was there, it had fascia
I
boards
see
coming
that, yeah.
by.
So you're gonna just die against it?
Yeah, so we were thinking we'd put them both back exactly the way
So
they
the
were.
rake board is coming, or?
Yeah,
is
the
it-
rake board came by.
Okay, yeah, that's fine too, as long as,
Yeah.
that's another way of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one didn't have, had a gutter on it a million years ago, but it didn't have a gutter on it when we took things apart, so I think it's optional to her whether to put one back on there or not. But the upper one that does go around the corner, that has to be done for sure.
Okay. This application requires a public meeting, so I hereby declare the public meeting open. Any comments from the public? Hearing none, I close the public meeting for discussion from the commission.
Motion to approve?
I move that we approve.
Bill is moved,
Oh, I second.
seconded by Caroline. Let's do a roll call vote.
Caroline Bolger?
Ward Booney, aye.
Garrett Stack, aye.
William Kendall, aye.
The certificate.
That was too easy. Can we go for an aluminum guy?
No, it would be hard for me to vote against Steve.
Appreciate that.
So I'm just going to make a note here that the return,
We'll do
this
it just
return
like
will be
that.
reproduced.
And I haven't done any of these yet. I don't even know who's gonna do it yet, but I think it'd be a learning curve for my guy. That'd be too expensive for Sally, so I've got a couple calls out to installers to get somebody that knows how to do the fiberglass to do it for him.
Okay. And we're missing our clerk tonight, and so I'm just thinking about, so we need to sign the original, do I take the original application from the bulletin board outside and sign that? Okay, and that's right over there, isn't it? Okay, so let me grab that.
I think we're done uncovering rot over there.
I hope so.
Yeah, we're not looking for it. Yeah, I think we got to a paintable finish.
Okay. So this here. There we go. Sign that. Okay, and then we need to appoint monitors. We'd like to be a monitor.
I'll be a monitor.
Caroline?
I'll be happy to be a monitor.
Okay, Caroline and Ward. Okay, so the procedure is that when you're ready to start, you call the monitors, let them know you're starting. And
That would be just for the gutter.
that would be for the guy.
Yeah, we're wrapping up the repairs right now.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and then let them know when you're finished.
Okay.
If you can
All right.
do it.
And what type of downspout are you going to use?
You said you wanted a nice round one. Yeah.
They're
Okay.
the same material.
I think we should put that also.
Yes, we should put that.
I
around
need an axe one, so we do make
the
those
spots.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably usually copper.
It'd usually be steel or maybe aluminum or sometimes they're copper. Yeah.
The corrugated is galvanized, but they have the same PVC downspouts that are around.
Yeah, but made out of that material,
Uh,
probably go with that, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an excellent solution.
Yeah, it's nifty. You don't have to linseed oil it twice a year and
Well,
keep it
it's
alive.
just, it's so much,
Clean it constantly.
it's a wonderful product.
Yeah.
Just got an iPhone too.
Caroline, do we have to sign
Yeah,
both of these
grandkid for
copies?
that?
Should we
Yeah.
sign both of them? Okay.
Science.
Just need to, I guess. Sure. It's not out.
Yeah, that's it's usually.
Okay.
Yours is newer than mine.
And so we will give one of these to the building department. And Ralph said you don't need a permit?
I told him when I started there, I called him and said, we were just coming to patch a little patch on the gutter. I was like, we gotta go a little further with this stuff. I said, I don't think I need a permit for this, we're just gonna repair it exactly as it is. And he said, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well,
He said, that's when he said, talk to the star.
yeah, we'll send them a copy anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you want these cut sheets back?
If you don't want them, yeah.
I'll keep this one.
Yeah.
I would.
You can keep them, they're theirs anyway, yeah. I got them at Ryan Supply up in Westwood. I'm gonna go to dinner. We'll be done.
Good dinner.
See, I will see you. We'll be around tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep, thank you.
Nice to see you, Art.
See you.
Okay, next, 1971 Main Road, Dick and Barbara Brewer, replace gutters and fascia.
Pretty much the exact same thing. Coming into the rakes, you know, I got a picture so it shows it's how they just end up right into the rakes on the ends, you know? So they just be cutting, tied into the rakes with the same kind of gutter. Only because they got a little amount of problems deep right through, so.
Is that me?
I was just saying.
see,
So,
can I see that?
yeah,
This is what happens in the world of technology.
see how it just dives right into the corner in the front? It just dives right into the rake, so it'll be the same kind of a gutter and just pop right in.
Okay, so what am I looking at now?
That's the gutter, and it comes into the rake on the end, so it just kind of gives you the rake comes down, the gutter just kind of goes like this and ties into the end there. So we just flash the end in.
The rake will go over?
Yes, it goes by it.
It's
This,
gonna go by it,
yeah, this would be the gutter and
and it's
then
gonna,
it
that's
just
gonna
comes in
dive
like
right
that.
into it. So that's missing from here at this point.
No, it's there. You can see the gutter and the rake is, so it goes right over the edge, so you're just looking at like the very end of it. So, yeah, it'll just go right straight to it. So there's no returns or otherwise.
No,
it's just-
no, I understand, yeah.
It just butts in. And that's basically it with the fascia and the gutter, and that's the reason.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much gone. I don't know if the soffits, you know what I mean? I think, I'm gonna assume there's probably a little rot in the soffit too, but
Yes.
otherwise, yeah.
Current state.
If you're repairing the,
Wow.
if you're repairing the soffit, we do allow other materials.
Wood and stuff, I mean,
PVC,
if they wanna go,
Exactly.
you can do that, that's excellent.
well, for longevity,
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
because that's a place that will always have water, and even
Yes.
though you've got good gutters, you still get problems.
Still get something, you still get ice, you still get backups here.
Yeah,
We did have a contractor here, I think the last meeting or the meeting
Right.
before, who was talking about problems using PVC because the fiberglass and the PVC
It moves.
expand and contract.
moves. That's it. So you can see if you put a PVC, say a 45 on a deck, you know, a skirt boarder, some days, it depends if you put it on hot, then it's cold, you know, they do move. You glue them, but they do move.
they expand, contract
Yes.
very much.
Yes, they do.
You have to compensate for it in some way,
Yeah.
in long runs.
This,
Yeah,
Let's just say you have a fascia board that is 40 feet long.
well, you can only get up to a 22-foot piece
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
PVC.
So you have a joint.
And 1
So-
by 8 you get a 22,
But-
otherwise a 20 is, and all the other boards.
Anyway, this has been installed with the PVC. The person that was here was very particular
Right.
about it. So you might consider that, but I don't know if that's, instead of PVC, he was using
something,
Centurion, it's a wood that is treated.
it's called solid gold. Is the name?
Yeah, Centurion, solid gold, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's what you guys want to do.
No,
It doesn't
no,
mean-
I don't. I'm saying that you do what you want. We have approved AZAC type materials.
Okay, excellent.
If you think that that's the best, that's fine.
And thank you. I've given them all options, wood, AZAC, every style, you know, so they pick what they want to do. Well, we weren't sure exactly what you were going to allow here, so kind of waited on that.
Okay. This requires a public meeting, so public meeting is now open. Any comments from the public?
I just have a quick gutter question. You mentioned the downspouts that are recommended now are the round ones.
Yes, that's.
So
more
if you were
historical.
taking one of those cheap looking, aluminum ones and you wanted to put round ones down, does that require a whole application, et cetera?
No, I think that would, I mean, if you filed the CNA, we'd probably just approve it outside of the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, no, that's good because it's not a big job and
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we like people to come in for the gutters is because there are details and not everybody, knows the
Yeah.
details about the returns and how the gutters end. And
You had my
things like that.
application
So-
a couple years ago, so I've done that part.
Yeah. But changing to round downspouts, that would be,
Okay, good, I'll get that.
yeah. Okay, any other comments from the public? Hearing none, the public meeting is now closed. Any comments from the commission?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
Caroline Bolter, aye.
Ward Mooney, aye.
Garrett Stuck, aye.
William Kendall, aye.
The certificate is approved. Congratulations. Monitors, who would like to be a monitor?
Thank you.
I can be a monitor. I should get it in here too. answers. So monitors for 1878.
78
1878 Drift Road,
of Driftburg.
East Drift Road.
That's the previous one.
That's the previous one, yeah.
That's your
I'm just writing them down so that we have them, and that was Ward and Caroline. And now for 1971 Main Road. Hobby monitor. Someone else?
Garrett, I'll do it again.
Okay. And Caroline. Okay. Let's sign these. Okay, and again, when you start, let us know, and if you let me know, I can let Caroline know, or vice versa. And,
Thank you.
let us know what we
All
do.
right, thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Meeting was all about gutters.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, next item, applications for certificate of non-applicability. So there are two CNAs that were approved by Deborah and me. One of them was 1945 Main Road, Caroline. Repair and replace wooden deck like for like, granted by clerk and
I may have to ask you to withdraw that. I went to buy wood today, and the bottom line is, Deborah, in what she wrote, says, I just had it up, I came with that, repair shall include supporting structure, and I had said it will all be wood. Well, apparently, the wood will rot, and I had lovely photographs, all of which I left at home, of, yes, the deck looks fine, it's, anyway, a product that's made by, it's available at DBS. Corning glass has something to do with it, so it is basically enforced. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, I suggest I withdraw my certificate of non-applicability and I will submit one of appropriateness. It will not be visible, it's the substructure.
If it's not visible, then it's...
Well, I mean, if you put your head down there, if you really want to try very hard.
No, Caroline, you're talking about the structure,
You know, the deck comes out.
the decking material, the boards?
No, the deck itself, I mean, what you walk on, which will be mahogany at
Yeah.
this point. But the 2x4s or the 4x4s that support it underneath are what basically rotted badly in 20 years. And this is a synthetic wood, which, again, as I said, I'm not prepared. I wish George had come. But it is made by Corning, and their glass is kind of worked into the wood. And
Well, the standard way of doing the frame underneath,
well, you know, this and their 10-foot whatever's going this way and that way, and you know, around the periphery, and then whatever's hold up the deck. If you're, I will submit an application.
With some drawing to show us what you're really talking about. And something that the material, it might be an interesting material that I'd like to know about.
But usually you would use pressure treated lumber.
This, apparently isn't, because we use pressure treated, you know, when I say we, my partner also is my resident carpenter. And no, we don't do that. So this isn't pressure treated. It doesn't pollute the ground. I don't know, maybe it's the new kid on the block, but under any circumstances. And it's not cheap. It's $300 for a log stick. But anyway, all I know is.
Well, anyway, is this something you see? It's,
Well, no.
or is it structure?
It's structure.
What?
Wouldn't,
So,
I mean,
you can buy pressure treated, it's called below ground, give a grade rather than just regular grade.
but as I
pressure
understand,
treated?
you just don't want to deal with, you don't want to work with pressure treated lumber, is that the issue?
Basically, yes.
So,
And anyway, we've ordered this, whatever it is, it's coming. But, and it's not pressure treated.
That's fine, I'm just interested in,
Oh, what it is.
because it's
Well-
different.
She actually doesn't. She just, in what she wrote, which is, by the way, isn't, repair shall include supporting structure. And what it is a supporting structure. It doesn't specify wood. And it wasn't, I said it was gonna all be wood.
We don't care what we don't see. I mean,
Yeah, right.
whatever structure there is, nothing to do with us. Only the things that are on the surface.
Well, if you wanted to be technical, if you were on the river and had field glasses and could see me, and that's a long way to look, but anyway, I can see the river, so theoretically the river can see me. And if you can see under my deck, you might see that's, yeah, you'd have to look pretty hard. I don't know,
and there are already supports there anyway, right? So you're just replacing those supports with something in a different material.
Yeah.
I don't think that would negate your CNA. If you wanna-
Amen. I mean,
Yeah, if you want to send us an email, I mean, even, you know, catalog a link or something.
oh,
like
yes,
that.
I mean, I'd be
Yeah,
happy
we'd
to do
be
that. I
interested to-
actually had a brochure
Yeah.
of whatever they said.
Because we're always interested in knowing about new materials.
Unfortunately, as I said, George promised to come, and then he said, well, we'll just do a certificate of applicability and make it for June 2nd.
Yeah, just send us an email, and I think we can.
All right.
we can just accept
So I
this.
can basically, as far as I know, I've got a permit there.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you can just go ahead with.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I apologize for the complication.
Okay, next is 1954 Main Road, replace rear door. This is the house, this is Josh Lavelle, who came to us for the solar panels. He wanted to put them on the front part of the house, and we told him we couldn't put them on the front part of the house.
Is that the dormer we're talking about?
Yes.
What's
Yeah,
the
shed-
number again?
shed door.
Sorry, shed dormer.
1950, yeah,
Yeah.
Think about that. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
across the street from me.
Yes.
And so after that meeting, it was after that meeting, I went over, I stopped by Josh's house and walked around it with him. And he told me some of the things that they are interested in doing. One of them is replacing this rear door, which faces east. If you cut down every single tree between, Main Road and 88, you might be able to see it.
Trees don't count, but
Trees don't count, but this is distant. It's
getting to be absurd.
Yeah, it's a minimal change. So anyway, Deborah and I approved this for a CNA.
I go for that.
Yeah, so there's nothing for us to act on there. Okay, item 3, preliminary reviews, there are none. General business, monitors reports. I have a report on the house next to me, Eric Hilt's house. He hasn't called me, but
What's he doing?
so he tore down and replaced 2 chimneys.
I watch it daily.
Yeah, and I think they did a really nice job.
It's beautiful so far.
Yeah. I'm not sure they're done with the internal work, but that's none of our business. I will, like I said, I haven't talked to them, but I'll check with Eric see if they're done with the exterior work, and if they're ready, we can sign off on this. Other monitors reports?
My only one is the church, but I don't think they have funding.
Yeah,
I was to be a monitor of
On the church too?
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's right.
the, are they gonna start?
I haven't heard.
Yeah.
They're still working on funding.
Oh, I see.
That may be a long way.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a big project.
yeah. Okay, any other monitors reports? No? Okay, any other topics? If not, then do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Bill has moved to adjourn. Do I hear a second? Second.
Anybody object?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.